Jets all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is up, 49ers fans? Welcome to the 49ers Rush with John Chapman. I'm really excited about this today. One, if you were able to jump into the stream at the very beginning, you heard one of the greatest voices ever and probably one of the greatest memories I've ever had as a sports fan. And that was in Miami the night before the Super Bowl, whenever we put together an awesome party. Oh, man, it was awesome. If you were able to join us, you know, it was at Pitbull's place on South Beach. Frank Gore came out, hung out, did autographs, took pictures, all that kind of stuff. But after the fact, kind of one of my very first perks of being a part of the quote-unquote press or whatever, I got to hang out and drink with Frank Gore, which I shared that story right after it happened. But, you know, if you didn't get to hear that, Frank Gore talking about, Niners Rush and Quest for 6 and all those things. And great news today, as, you know, it's really interesting. You know, my oldest son, he's 16, he plays football. He loves Frank Gore. It's his favorite player ever. And he asked me about, has Frank Gore signed anywhere? Has Frank Gore signed it? Has Frank Gore signed anywhere? Now, he's a high school kid, so he slept in. And news came out earlier today that Frank Gore signed with the Jets. And so excited. 16th season, turns 37 very shortly. He's still going. The legend himself. So I just wanted to add that little piece of audio in there. Man, I was totally geeking out, I'm not going to lie. But Frank Gore, I think Adam Gase is the worst head coach in the NFL. But I am thankful for his loyalty to Frank the Tank. Because guess what? If the season happens, which I think it will happen, actually, the 49ers and the Jets will be playing each other. So there's a possibility we could see that, see Frank on the sidelines again. I don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time there, but he brings so much from a non-statistical standpoint. So very happy with that. Now, what are we doing today? First off, just want to say thank you. Appreciate you guys being here. It's always fun. And, oh, look at this. We've got the countdown squad is up in effect. Every third stroke, one of the greatest names ever. Just want to say thank you, guys. And I'll be putting the instructions at the end of this video again. Welcome, Big Ken. The countdown crew. These guys are huge. We've got some giveaways that are going to be taking place at the end of this month, and they just started tallying today. So, again, here's the deal. If you can get a comment in when we go live for the Countdown crew, just put hashtag CC at the end of it. Like if you just put, what's up, John, hashtag CC. We're going to go back and we're going to compile as many people as get their entries in there. And we're going to give away some free stuff to a handful of them. So whether it's t-shirts, extra gear, any of those types of things, some giveaways we're trying to build up as well. So thank you to those people. So again, you need to hit that bell wherever it is you listen. It doesn't matter. Hit that bell so that you'll be notified when we go live. Get a comment in on those first 30 seconds during the intro. We're going to keep results of that and give out some free stuff. So just want to say thank you to everybody that is here. What's up, Wayne Patrick Brown? Big fan of his content that he puts out here. And what we're going to do today, as you can see in the title, man, it is Jauan Jennings Day. Just finished the all breakdown over on patreon.com. If you're a part of that, go enjoy that. That's about 30 minutes of just watching his feet and tackles and all that stuff. But we've got some film for you today. We're going to go over the background, some coaching quotes, athletic profile, stats, what we can expect, what he's good at. And then when we have time after that, we'll be going through the chat for some questions. So if you are involved in the chat, whether that's YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Hot Mic, wherever, it doesn't matter, please make sure you at me so that I can see your questions at the end of the segment, and then we'll bounce back and forth and make sure this is your podcast as always. So I want to make sure we get to what it is you guys want to talk about. And so if you've got those questions, you can put it in there. As always, you can hit me up on Twitter. And oh, guess what? If you want to know how big the 49ers Rush Pod, I feel silly to even say this. I've got shout out to Dell Dumont, who's helping me kind of promote the 49ers Rush podcast in a new way. You can tell the new graphics and all these things. He came up with a wonderful idea. We've got to start a TikTok. So guess what? The cool old man, 37-year-old Jonathan Chapman, has started a TikTok for the 49ers Rush podcast. So if you are trying to get your teenage son and or daughter involved in the 49ers, and you want them to root for your team come football season, guess what? We've got the outlet. We're channeling the younger generation. Just 49ers Rush podcast on TikTok. Just started that up. We've got about 5 or 6 videos up on there. So yeah, if you're one of those crowd, please head over there, subscribe, like, comment, help us out. We are trying to get, no matter where the 49ers fans are, we're trying to increase knowledge and make people better fans and more knowledgeable fans. So please head over there and do that. But as I say head over there and do that, let's head over and let's do some film. Let's get into some Jauan Jennings. And as you know, I've got 2 different game films I'm going to be putting up for you. And they're on a loop, so we might be able to go through it a few times. But the game film is so fun. And, you know, the 49ers selected Jauan Jennings. His first name is Benny. It's actually Benny Jauan Jennings, but he goes by Jauan. And I love the spelling, the Jauan. That is awesome. Jauan. Got him in the 7th round out of Tennessee. Wide receiver, but he's not really a wide receiver. He's more of a tank. 6'3", 215 pounds. He's not fast, and there's a reason why he went in the 7th round. But there's a reason why he was drafted as well, because he has some specific traits that a lot of players in the NFL at the wide receiver position just do not possess. You know, the things that jump off the page as I'm doing my notes is whenever I see something, I'll just say, okay, tough. And then I'll see another play, and I'm like, whoa, tough doesn't do justice to what just happened on back-to-back plays. Tough and mean. And then we'll see another one, and then I'll just laugh. Oh, tough, mean, anger. And so, like, you start running out of adjectives and words and all these things to describe. He's just mean as hell. That's all there is to it. He led the entire country in broken tackles for the wide receiver position. He broke 30 tackles. 30 freaking tackles, which, you know, if you look at his stats aren't the best. He had 59 catches. So he's breaking a tackle every other catch. And the play that's playing right now, if you're watching with us live, he just broke 3. And so you have these plays that show up, and he just looks like a Madden-created character where you took the attribute level for broken tackles and you moved it to 99. That's who this kid is. Again, not a burner. He's got some off-the-field issues. But he is tough, he is mean, he breaks tackles, and he fits that big slot role that the 49ers drafted Jalen Hurd for. Now, Jalen Hurd hopefully is back. He's cleared, theoretically, from John Lynch. So that's great. And Jalen Hurd is a better player than Jauan Jennings, even though they used to be teammates at Tennessee, before Jalen Hurd transferred from the running back position at Tennessee all the way to Baylor, and the rest is history, as you say, whatever. But the issues are quite similar, because if you want to go back to maybe one of my favorite podcasts we ever did was, the Jalen Hurd broadcast, the breakdown right after he was drafted last year, almost this exact same time a year ago. But people wanted out of Tennessee because of the coaching staff. Lots of terrible decisions lying to the players, lots of under-the-table stuff, whatever else. Butch Jones, if you don't know Butch Jones, you go back to the old Cowboys issues, you can go through his college thing issues, whatever else. But Butch Jones gets let go. Brady Hoke steps in as the interim head coach, and they start basically tanking to give younger players playing time. Well, this did not sit well with the older players like Jauan Jennings that were there to compete and win games. And so Jauan Jennings went to social media and started putting basically the business out there. And this is not a positive at all. Called the coaches snakes, called them liars, called them lazy, called them cowards, all these different things, because they weren't trying to win games. They were just trying to appease to the younger players, and that didn't sit well. So he gets kicked off the team. They kicked him off the team, Brady Hoke. Well, Brady Hoke eventually gets fired later that season. They bring in a new coach, and they bring him back immediately. And he started from that point forward. So, yeah, that's an issue. Now, the thing that's special about Jauan Jennings, and I think let's jump back to his high school days, because I think it makes sense. He led his team to a state championship in football as a quarterback and safety, and he led his team to a state championship as a basketball player. He goes on to win Mr. Football 2014 in Tennessee at Murfreesboro Blackman High School, which a lot of talent goes through there. This guy was it coming out of high school. It's what it is. And one of the here's what's awesome, man. I found an old interview after he won the state championship, and they asked him. They said, how would you grade your performance coming off of the state championship? And he said B- without hesitation. He went on to say, there's so much room for improvement. I'm sorry, B+ is what he gave himself. Then the guy asked him, okay, what is your favorite sport other than football? And again, remember, this guy's a starter and one of the leaders for a championship basketball high school team. And so the guy asked him, what's your favorite sport other than football? He goes, football. So what do you like more than football? I like football more than football. That's just who this is. This is a highly competitive, and you see it in his playing style. He won't go out of bounds, ever. He's not a guy that's going to stop. He wants every inch, and he is not afraid to go over the middle and do whatever he has to do to go get it. Now, his freshman year, he gets recruited to go to Tennessee as a quarterback, as a dual-threat quarterback, but they transitioned him to wide receiver so he could play immediately, and he played fairly well there. He broke his wrist in week 1 of his junior year, and that caused him to miss the rest of the season. It never got healed while the season was going, so he only played that, which I don't want to chalk that up to like injury. What's the term there? Injury prone. That's not it at all. He fights, he takes hits, he got hit. It's just what it is. And so, also, huge track guy in high school. I missed that. He was on a 4x100 and 200 meter in track, and one of those qualified for the state relays there in Tennessee. So it's funny. He runs a 4.72, but he was on a state track 4x100. So, but he's bulked up a lot since then. He was pretty small whenever he was in high school, and he's added a lot of weight. Again, 6'3", 215. Now, here's some quotes from Kyle Shanahan on how he views JaJuan Jennings and why they got him. Kyle Shanahan said, and again I quote, he didn't have the best combine, but you watch his tape and he's a bulldog. He plays in the slot, but could play linebacker, and he just wants to fight everybody, end quote. That's who this kid is, and as you watch this film, hopefully you're joining us where you can see it. But he's just angry. I made the joke on my breakdown. I don't think he got a lot of hugs as a kid because he just wants to hurt everybody. And you see him used as, a wildcat quarterback at Tennessee. He had several rushes, 25 rushes for 93 yards. He threw passes. You saw the end around where he throws a deep pass. He can do all those things. So, again, you're adding more toys, more versatility, more fun for Kyle Shanahan to do his math scientist, play design, and all that stuff. You can do all that with him. He adds to that element. John Lynch, and again, this was a joking manner. If you saw the press conference, he said, I think he can play safety if he wants to. He doesn't want him to play safety, but it's just a tribute to his attitude and what he does on the field with the anger and the tenacity that he plays with every single play. Every single play. You can go watch highlights of JaJuan Jennings, and I recommend that you do so because it's going to get you pumped up. But after you watch the highlights, watch just the game film, and you're going to be equally pumped up. Now, he did disappear in some games, but his best games were against Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina. The game that we have up right now is against South Carolina, and you can see Javon Kinlaw and JaJuan Jennings out there at the same time. The kid's best games came against the best SEC defenses because he matches what the SEC is known for, which is toughness and ultra competitive nature. The games against bad opponents, the SEC, they usually schedule 1 or 2 cupcakes because they have such a tough conference schedule. He disappears in those games. He plays to the level of competition on the field. He's a competitor. The MJ series and all that stuff's going on. And, I'm watching the kids film and all that stuff over and over again, and I'm just like, this kid gets it. And so at the NFL level, he's got it out for him because he's going to have to compete. The wide receiver position is so deep for the 49ers. This kid's going to have to fight. On special teams, you're going to have a hard time finding somebody that's better at special teams in that wide receiver room than him. He's going to be the best because he wants to hit everybody. And so I think that there's an opportunity for him to have a role on this team, but it's an uphill battle. I think worst case for JaJuan Jennings is he's the practice squad guy. That's worst case. There is a chance he can make the roster. I really, really do believe that. If Jalen Hurd has any medical hiccups before the season whatsoever, he's going to be put on IR, and they're just going to stash him for the year. Jauan Jennings is making the active roster. Now, if Jalen Hurd is healthy, now you're talking about, okay, what do we do with this kid? Can we stash him on the practice squad? Is somebody going to steal him? You got him in the 7th round, so a lot of teams took him off their board because of the off-the-field issues. A lot of teams took him off the board because he's slow. He ran a 4.72 40-yard dash. That's in the bottom 2%. Bottom 2% of NFL wide receivers. Not fast. Now, there are wide receivers that run that type of 40 that can play. You look at Keenan Allen, I think he was a 4.65 guy. You look at Jarvis Landry, he was a 4.7 guy. You look at Anquan Bolden. You look at Stevie Johnson, those types of guys. Can he have that career? That would be a very long shot, but you see certain traits and consistency that jump off the film. Two 49er player comps came up whenever I was going through his player profile, and one of them's hilarious. I put this out on Twitter. I listed all the metrics of Jauan Jennings, 6'3", 215, 31-inch arms, 9-inch hands, 4.72 40, 29-inch vertical. That's trash. 119 broad jump, all these things. And then I listed a mystery player next to him. It was so close. They're almost identical. And I was like, can you name this player? And everybody throws out wide receivers. And after like 40 guesses, I was like, no, it's not a wide receiver. Then everybody starts guessing quarterbacks because it's unathletic. It really, really is. And I'm like, no, it's not a quarterback. It turns out it's Mitch Wisnowski. He has the exact athletic profile as our punter, which is problematic. But what are the things that sets him apart? One, his 40-yard dash, it sucks. A 4.72. But Kyle Shanahan doesn't always reference the 40-yard dash. He references the 10-yard split, which is the first 10 yards that's measured at the combine. And again, it's laser track. So he ran a 1.5. Okay, well, what the hell is that? Well, his 40-yard dash put him in the bottom 2%.
Keeping South Carolina on their toes.
His 10-yard split, 1.58, put him at 64%. So he's better than average, the average wide receiver. Now, better than average isn't what you want to hear as a pro, but it lets you know that he is good in short area quickness, which is what you want from the slot. He doesn't get separation on routes, but he gets separation with body and contact. And once the ball's in his hand, watch out, because he's breaking every single tackle that is out. Now, we look at his stats, career-wise, 59 catches. This is just 2019, I apologize. 2019, he had 59 catches for just under 1,000 yards, 969 yards. 16.4 yards per reception. That's elite. 8 touchdowns. So, we're talking about a guy that breaks tackles and gets into the end zone. That's just who he is. He has 18 career touchdowns in his time there, 25 career rushes for 93 yards, 1 touchdown there. And again, the most broken tackles by anybody that played the wide receiver position in the NCAA. He broke more tackles than C.D. Lamb. He did. And it showed. Now, he did have 4 drops on 92 catchable targets. 6% drop rate if you use the math the way that Pro Football Focus does that. He did have an 89.4 receiving grade, so that's good. 48% contested rate, that's 50-50 balls. Guess what? Right on par. 8 yards after the catch, which rates him 32nd. So 8 yards after the catch per reception. So that's 32nd best in all of college football. He's just tough. And the contact balance that he has, whenever he catches the ball, and people hit him, he loves it. But for some reason, he just doesn't go down. Tennessee had a lot of players that were very, very similar. Alvin Kamara, Jalen Hurd, and Jauan Jennings. They're larger, not known for their speed, but for some reason, Tennessee was able to coach during this very short time a lot of people that just refused to go down. And Jauan Jennings is not Alvin Kamara. That's not what I'm saying, so please don't take that and run with it. But what I am saying is there's a reason why Jauan Jennings broke so many tackles. There's a reason why Kamara. There's a reason why Jalen Hurd. Because they were coached and taught and weight trained in a very similar way, and it shows on film. The contact balance that Jauan Jennings has, it's up there with any wide receiver in the NFL. I don't have a problem saying that, because what he is able to do is really, really good. It's really, really, really good. All right, let's jump over real quick, and let's get, before we jump into our Q&A, which we're about to do, I want to give a quick second to have a word from our sponsor, Manscaped. Oh, I'm excited. Here we go, baby. All right, guys, support for the 49ers Rush podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. The best in men's below-the-belt grooming, Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family drills. Here's the deal, guys. Manscaped has been with us for a long time, and a big reason why I still have them helping out with the show is this. It's very simple. Whenever they came out with their new product, the Lawnmower 3.0, I bought it and used it, and I was like, let's see if it's just the same thing. It's not, okay? It was great. Now it's the best thing ever. So, reached out to them. We've got this connection going as well, and as soon as we started plugging it, I have reached 5 or 6 different emails and DMs from you guys saying thank you that you bought this, and one, if you do buy this, you get 20% off and free shipping just by using our promo code RUSHESF, RUSHESF. And so here's the deal. Manscaped, they redesigned everything. The engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created, and I believe in it. Again, I had the 2.0 package. I went and got the 3.0 package because it's that much better. There's things that you can go cheap on. There's things that you can skip out on. Whenever I'm messing with down there, it's time to be professional. That's all I got to say. So whenever I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery lasts up to 90 minutes, which I don't know why you would need to do that. It's waterproof. You do it in the shower. There's no cleanup. There's no cuts. There's no nicks. There's nothing. It is the best product on the market by far. So, just trim it. Thank you. Your junk's going to thank you later. So what you got to do is head to manscaped.com. Use promo code RUSHESF, RUSHESF, no spaces. Get 20% off, free shipping. And again, once you get this done, I promise you, you're going to be emailing me, just telling me how great of a product it is. So manscaped.com, thank you for the support of the podcast. Head over there now and make sure you get your product. All right, here we go. Man, I'll say this too. Manscaped, the new thing, it's got headlights on it. The trimmer has headlights on. I'm not joking. It's real. It lights up everything. It's pretty impressive. Anyway, let's get to some Q&A. Let's do this. So if you've already got your question in there, I'm going to start at the top and scroll down, and we'll be here for as long as we can go. Whatever question it is that you got, again, remember to tag me. Okay, that is huge. So first question comes from Big Ken. Pittsburgh does not want to pay Juju. Do you think Pittsburgh now puts him on the block? No, I don't think so at all. I think Juju is a top 10 wide receiver in this league, and he is super young. Now, the issue is they still have some time. They don't have to pay him yet. He's 2 years, out of his rookie deal. And so he was a second-round pick, so he doesn't get that fifth-year option. But they're in win-now mode, and they're going to have to pay defensive players before they pay Juju. So he doesn't have really any negotiations right now. He's going to have to play through another year before he can even get close to an extension. So they're not letting that guy go. From @SpyNickDanger. What is the biggest issue facing the 49ers in returning to the Super Bowl? Man, I love this question. We did a question of the day over on TikTok, and this was the question. What is the one position or one player that is the biggest concern for the 49ers moving forward? And I think it's center. I think it's the center position. You have Western Richburg. His, health, very, very shaky. He has not been healthy one day for the 49ers. He came injured. Played through injury because he's tough as hell. You got to give him that. And then got re-injured again last year. Ben Garland stepped in and played very, very notably well through the playoffs and the Super Bowl. But he's 32, 33 years old. And he's not a quality starter in the NFL. I think he's a little bit more, how do I say this? He's a replacement level guy. Now, maybe offensive line depth's interesting because you draft Colton McKivitz, who can play guard. Daniel Brunskill is the starting right guard as of now. He could move. They're starting to get Brunskill some snaps. You want the best 5 out there. I think that's Brunskill at center, McKivitz at right guard. That's just me. So I think those are the spots, the interior offensive line, namely that center position. I think that's one of those things that's going to be interesting. From Sergio. John, do you think Frank Gore will sign a one-day contract whenever the clock strikes? Oh, my gosh, yes. Frank Gore 100% will retire a 49er. And I'll say this, seeing him in Miami the day before the game, he showed up. He did what he was supposed to do. You know, we paid him to show up. You have to do that with NFL players and legends like them. That's their business as well. But after he was done, he wanted to hang out and talk 49ers. He wanted to charge up the crowd. He wanted to hang out with people. He wanted to keep talking things. And so Frank Gore is an NFL professional athlete, and that's for sure. But make no mistake, that guy wants the 49ers to win. I mean, he said quest for 6. If you didn't listen to the opening audio, whenever you're done with this, go back and listen to the first 10 seconds. And the dude is still passionate about the 49ers. He's not going anywhere. Gibster, I love this. Frank Gore's son is 4 years younger than Sam Darnold. Yeah. Frank Gore Jr. is a freshman at Southern Miss this year playing football. It's awesome. It's just really, really cool what that family and what he's been able to do. So excited to follow his timeline through, Frank Gore Jr. and see what that looks like his career. Hopefully he gets a shot at the NFL too. Who knows? Frank Gore might be around 41-year-old running back. Why not? From Nick, can an improved offense with Ayuk, Hurd, and McKinnon make up for a step backwards by our defense? So a couple things. There's a lot here. Great question. The offense is going to be better this year. One, I think the most important thing about the offense is this. You're finally getting a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo has started 1 full year at quarterback. This is his second year as a starter. Now, he had the injury, he had spot duty back in New England, all those things. He's had 1 full year as a starter. So that's huge. 1 full year after the ACL. Plus, you're getting an upgrade at the left tackle position. That's huge. You're getting an upgrade at the wide receiver position. And plus you get all the health coming back. You've got to talk about the offense. It could be better. It could be better. It was the number 3 scoring offense, I believe, last year. Off the top of my head, I could be wrong. Top 5 for sure. But yeah, it couldn't be better, especially with Kyle Shanahan. You look at what Kyle Shanahan did in his time with the Texans, in his time with the Falcons. I don't think he was in Cleveland for 2 years. Perhaps he was. I think I would be wrong with that. But the jump in quarterback play his second year, working with the quarterbacks their second year, it's huge. And so that is great. Now, did our defense take a step back? If you want to talk about the Richard Sherman perhaps getting older, safety play is going to stay identical. Linebackers is going to be better. Linebackers are going to be better. Best linebacking core in the NFL. It's not close. Defensive line, is it going to be worse without DeForest Buckner? Yes. But is a healthy D Ford and the addition of your new 13th or 14th overall pick, Javon Kinlaw, do those equal what DeForest Buckner was able to do? I think he can. So I'm not quite sure the defense is going to be worse. Is it going to be a top 2 defense as it was last year? You could argue it's the best defense in the NFL. I think personally it was, but there are certain metrics where New England Patriots defense outperformed the 49ers. But yeah, I don't think it is as much as a step back because some players are stepping up, right? What is Dre Greenlaw going to look like in his second year? People, I say this a lot. I'm going to keep saying this. I'm not going away from this. Dre Greenlaw is the best linebacker we have on this team. And let that sink in because you have guys like Quan Alexander who is, close to Pro Bowl level linebacker whenever he's healthy. He's a difference maker. You have Fred Warner, who had 6 All-Pro votes. I'm telling you, the ceiling for Dre Greenlaw, there's not one. So what is he going to look like in 2020? I think that's key. So I'm kind of a glass half full guy, whatever else. Every third stroke. When is the schedule released? Thursday night. Thursday night for the entire NFL. They'll be leaked. Hopefully I will be able, I'm a guest on a podcast late Thursday night, but I'll have a lot of stuff out. We'll do a full schedule breakdown and all those things whenever it does come. No doubt about that. From Brandon Newton, realistic expectations, receiving yards, touchdowns, etc. for Jauan Jennings this season. He's going to be a role player, okay? He's going to. And he's going to need injuries to get up. He's a developmental player that can help down the line. That's the goal. Now, will he get playing time? The 49ers aren't letting him go. Somebody's going to have to snatch him, okay? I think that there is a possibility for him to be placed on the practice squad. That's worst case scenario. But you're looking at somebody that's going to contribute. Look at a little bit at what Richie James did last year. So you're thinking like 20 catches, again, 15 probably yards per catch, right? So yeah, what's that? 40, 20 catches for whatever yards and like a touchdown or two. I think that's good for his rookie year because he's got to climb. He's got to get in better shape. He's got to learn a new system, and he's going to have to learn how to get open in short areas. So we'll have to see what happens, but this is a long-term play. That's what we're looking for here. So real quick question, what's up with the Hot Mic app? Yeah, Hot Mic app is still going strong. The problem is I can't put any type of film on Hot Mic with their CEO and the way the NFL is working and going back and forth. So whenever I'm doing film breakdowns, they're not going to be over on Hot Mic. Every other podcast will be, however. And so as always, Hot Mic gets the first questions and all that kind of stuff. It's what it is. Anyway. Oh no, a little bit late, but the chat is going crazy. Game audio is on, can't hear you. Oh no, that's bad news. Sorry about that, guys. Big problem with running all those things. I'm the producer of the show, so that's my fault. Breaking down all the stuff and working the scenes and all that. That's on me, so I apologize about that. But it's what it is. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast today. Lots of fun. Lots more stuff coming your way as always. And, man, can't say thanks enough. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review the show. And that's going to do it for us today. Here's the Countdown Crew. Let's go, baby. All right, guys, just want to remind you of the Countdown Crew. I am trying to find creative ways to give things away to the loyal listeners that show up, episode in, episode out, doesn't matter when it is. So here's the deal, guys. If you haven't participated in this before, here's what you do. When the countdown starts, okay, whether this is on YouTube, Hot Mic, Periscope, wherever, when the countdown is up, that first 30 seconds before the podcast starts, I need you to start lighting up those comments, okay? And what's going to happen at the end of every month, I'm going to keep track. Whoever gets the most and all those things, I'm going to pick one or two people. I'm going to be giving away t-shirts, 49ers Rush gear, stickers, perhaps even let you jump on the pod, tell people your story, how you became a 49ers fan, something along those lines. But the Countdown Crew is huge. So again, for our live listeners, make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell wherever it is you listen. And again, that first 30 seconds, that's the Countdown Crew. I need you guys in there. I need you to bring in energy because I feed off that. And I think usually whenever we have shows with a lot of people on early, those are always my favorite podcasts to do. So I need your help. The Countdown Crew, again, get some free stuff. And I'm going to be sending that out to you. For those of you that do listen traditional podcast ways, I understand you don't have a way to do that. But I'm going to try to find some new creative ways to get you guys active in that as well. And again, I got a lot of stuff I got to give away. So help us out there. That is the Countdown Crew. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. Thank you guys so much.